How good was that? The big cat back in action and still about that action. Tiger Woods cards an opening round 69. That's 2 under after rattling off 3 consecutive birdies to close out his opening round at the Genesis Invitational. Woods, your tournament host, doing far more than just hosting this year. Last week announced he's ready for some real PGA Tour golf, and he still looks like he can really golf his ball. Tiger in the mix at 2 deep following 1 round. And for more on Tiger's return to action, we sail at a CBS senior golf writer Kyle Porter. KP, cat cards that 2 under 69 in Thursday's opening round. Score relative to par, only 1 measure of success for the 15-time major champion, but rattles off those 3 coming home, met with cheers and smiles from the fans and his competitors. What stood out to you in round 1 here for Woods?
Well, what didn't stand out? I mean, I said before the round to Jacqueline that 73 would be a pretty decent score for Tiger. And of course, he goes out, shoots 69. Joe, this is his first, how about this? This is his first score of 2 under or better in a professional golf tournament since November 2020. He shot 68 in the first round of the Masters. And, you know, all day, I think, I mean, obviously the 3 birdies coming home. He goes 2, 4, 3 coming in. He's out driving Rory, hitting inside of JT. I think the thing that stood out, honestly, is his ball speed off the tee. He hit 177 miles per hour ball speed off the tee with driver 9 different times in his first round on Thursday. Joe, tour average is like 171, 172. So he's got speed. I mean, and to be able to convert that speed into some scores when, you know, he's hitting some kind of knockdown, sawed-off irons throughout the day, and then he starts scoring boom, boom, boom at the end of the day. It's just unbelievable. It's remarkable. He's 47 years old. He should not be doing this, and yet here we are on the first day of Riviera, and he's absolutely doing that. And looks like he's going to play into the weekend, and maybe even, who knows, maybe he can contend if he gets into Saturday and Sunday.
We'll get there in just a moment, but on the surface here, after 1 round, Tiger's 2 under, better than 86 of the 129 players to put a tee in the ground on Thursday. Unbelievable stuff is really the only way to characterize it. We know he's going to be physically limited, at least between shots at times, with the back, with the foot, but mentally, watching him grind over 4-footers, pouring in those 5 to 10-footers, that aspect of the game, and maybe those moments where he was soaking in the moment. Does the mental side of the game still look elite to you, KP?
Yeah, I think here's the thing, Joe. I was thinking about this toward the end of his round. I think he lives for like standing over 5-footers. I think he like truly desires how that makes him feel. And listen, like, I don't know that I mean, physically, I just don't know that he's going to be able to hold up over 3-4 rounds, you know, of a golf tournament. But mentally, if he's in it, I think mentally he'll be fine. It's not like he's lost it. It's very different. Remember back in Phoenix, this was probably 6 or 7 years ago. He had the chipping yips. He's blading chips into the grandstands. That was like mentally a place we had never seen Tiger. He seems peaceful, content, competitive right now, and it's just a matter of whether the body's going to allow him to do it for 4 straight rounds.
All right, so, I mean, you went there, so I'm going to go there. Big picture, reconstructed leg, fused back, and we're still seeing, as you said, ball speeds upwards of $180, drivers out there at 330, past Rory. I know we said we weren't going to do it when the launch monitors are spitting out numbers like that, KP. Is it crazy to hold on to a little bit of hope that Tiger Woods could someday win again on this tour? I had to do it to you.
It's a little crazy. I wrote this on, I think, Tuesday for CBSSports.com, just talking about how we're going to get moments like this. There's going to be 69s. There's going to be 67s. There's going to be rounds in the 60s. There's going to be a moment at a major championship. There's going to be a day or 2 at Riviera where we see who Tiger Woods used to be. And then the problem is, Joe, and I hate to put a damper on this so immediately after it happened, but there's going to be a day or 2 days where we see what Tiger Woods is eventually going to become, which is a 50-year-old golfer who's kind of dragging one leg around these golf courses. So I think you're going to get both of them. Right now, it doesn't feel like that. Right now, it feels like he's going to shoot, you know, 69, 68, 69, 67 and win this golf tournament. But I'm dubious of that happening. We haven't seen that in a really, really long time. I think physically it's just very difficult for him to kind of get into that groove for 4 straight days. And I'm interested, though. Like, if it happens on Friday, Saturday at Riviera, he shoots 70, 68, something like that, then all of a sudden, I think you can legitimately talk about not just him contending at Riviera, but also what does that mean for the majors later this year? Because, you know, and he talked about this before the tournament, mentally and just the way his intelligence around these golf courses, that's still there. That doesn't leave you. He knows what to do. It's just a matter of whether his body is capable of doing it and whether he's put in enough work to be able to stay smooth and good to go for 4 straight days.
Reports he was doing some advanced scouting up the road at LACC as well in preparation for this year's U.S. Open. We will cross all bridges when they come, but this did feel like one of those moments here on Thursday that we should sit and enjoy, KP. Let's pivot to some of the other action here on course. You could stop me if you've heard this before. Max Homa leads tournament in home state of California. 4 of Homa's 6 career wins have come in Cali. I don't know how much the warm and fuzzies really factor into it, but hard to argue with these types of results right now.
Yeah, it is. I mean, listen, Max Homa's going for his 3rd win of the season. I believe he holds out for 3 right here, an unconventional 3 at the 10th, but he's looking for his 3rd win of the season, his 2nd in his last 3 starts. You know, we had a big debate last week, Joe, in Phoenix. Is Max Homa one of the top 3 players in the world? And I think we got a resounding no from Scotty Scheffler on Sunday when Scheffler was like, wait a second, I'm one of the top 3 players in the world, along with Rory, along with Rahm, who I know we're going to talk about in a minute. I think Max is in that conversation for top 4, top 5. He's just like, remember when it used to be surprising that Max Homa would lead Riviera or win a tournament? It's not surprising anymore. He's hitting cups. It's just not shocking when he shoots a 7 under 64 at Riv. And that's a remarkable place for any golfer to be, much less Max Homa, who was really struggling professionally as recently as, 5 years ago.
It's been fantastic to watch him, whether it be in California or elsewhere. Max Homa is ascending to those sorts of heights and those sorts of questions that you pose. We take a look now at Homa's card as he paces the pack here through 18 holes, but you mentioned him here. You don't have to go far to find Jon Rahm ever. The buoy, better than afloat at 6 under. Now 56 under par in 17 rounds posted this season, KP. We talked about the high floor all week out in Phoenix, but statistically, at some point, do you expect regression? How does he maintain this level of play?
Well, it's interesting because we were talking about this also. This is not even the best stretch of his career. If you're looking at strokes gained, that came back in, I think it was summer of 2021 when he won the U.S. Open. So the ceiling is still higher than this technically, which is just insane because of how well he's playing right now. He's been beaten by 19 guys in his last 9 worldwide starts. That's a joke of a number. That's a Tiger-like number. And, we saw this at Phoenix last week. You and I followed him around, didn't have his best stuff, and yet the floor is so high that it's hard to imagine him not winning if he has any of his stuff at all. And what I mean by that is if he's making putts, if he's kind of locked in with his irons in a way that maybe he wasn't last week at Phoenix, if any of those things are clicking, he's either going to win or he's going to get really, really close to winning. And that's kind of where his floor is at right now. If he goes up from it at all, he's winning golf tournaments. And that's an unbelievable place for a professional golfer to be, where your floor is just below kind of the best player on the PGA Tour. And now his floor could drop over time, but man, I don't know, the last 5, 6, 7 years, if you look at kind of strokes gained and some of the advanced metrics that determine the best players in the world, Jon Rahm is right there with Rory and Dustin Johnson as one of those guys.
We will see if he's got the stuff come this weekend. We will also see if the man in red will be in the mix as well. KP, appreciate you as always. And don't forget, only one place to be this weekend for the thrilling conclusion, that is, of the Genesis Invitational, Saturday and Sunday coverage, beginning at 3 Eastern on CBS and streaming on Paramount+. You just might see the man in red.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.